Russian President Vladimir Putin has chosen a rare and powerful venue for his summit with U.S. President Donald Trump, Alaska, a place of historical and strategic importance where Russian ambitions meet American interests and geopolitical realities. At its closest point, Alaska is just 90 kilometers from Russia's Chukotka region. For Putin, this proximity is more than a convenience. It's security. The Kremlin leader can arrive without flying over hostile countries, avoiding the risks of airspace complications or confrontations. But Alaska holds more for Russia than just logistical advantages. It's a powerful symbolic backdrop for Putin's broader strategy. After all, the US purchased Alaska from Tsarist Russia in 1867, a historical moment that, for Putin, holds lessons about borders and territorial shifts. In a recent editorial, Moscow's Moskovsky Komsomolets claimed, Alaska is a clear example that state borders can change and large territories can switch ownership. It's a powerful message, one that underscores the Kremlin's belief that territorial changes should be accepted, not resisted. For Putin, however, this summit is not just about symbols, it's about tangible outcomes. His territorial demands are clear. Russia wants to retain the 4 Ukrainian regions it has seized: Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson. Moscow wants Kyiv to cede control of parts of those regions still held by Ukraine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has made it clear: Ukrainians will not give their land to the occupier. It is a stance shared by Ukrainian people and one that will test the limits of Putin's ambitions. This summit, though, isn't just about Putin and Zelensky. It's about President Trump and the future of U.S. Russia relations. The Kremlin believes that Trump could back its territorial claims, especially if Kyiv refuses.
He's a little bothered by the fact that Zelensky was saying, well, I have to get constitutional approval. I mean, he's got approval to go into war and kill everybody, but he needs approval to do a land swap because there'll be some land swapping going on. I know that through Russia and through conversations with everybody to the good, for the good of Ukraine. Good stuff, not bad stuff. Also, some bad stuff for both. So there's good and there's bad. But it's very complex because you have lines that are very uneven, and there'll be some swapping, there'll be some changes in land, and the word that they will use is, they make changes. We're going to change the lines, the battle lines. Russia's occupied a big portion of Ukraine. They've occupied some very prime territory. We're going to try and get some of that territory back for Ukraine. But they've taken some very prime territory. They've taken largely ocean. In real estate, we call it oceanfront property. That's always the most valuable property. If you're in a lake, a river, or an ocean, it's always the best property. Well,
for Trump, the calculus is simple. If Russia and the US can forge a closer relationship, it could shift the global balance of power. Warmer ties could open doors for economic cooperation, potentially ending years of sanctions and geopolitical standoff. But if the US were to cut off its support to Ukraine, backing Putin's territorial ambitions, the consequences would be catastrophic. For Ukraine, it would mean a devastating blow to its sovereignty. For Europe and the world, it would raise uncomfortable questions about the future of international borders. As Putin and Trump meet in Alaska, the balance of power, the fate of Ukraine, and the future of the US-Russia relations hang in the balance. What happens next will shape the course of history. This is more than just a summit. It is a moment of reckoning.
Subscribe to Oneindia and never miss an update. Download the Oneindia app now.